In this chase scene from the film Hot Fuzz, we see how film editor Chris Dickens managed to control the speed of time in the film and kept the audience on edge and excited throughout the scene using different editing and transition techniques. In this scene, the police, led by Nicholas Angel and Danny Butterman, raid a shopping centre owned by Simon Skinner, one of the main antagonists in the film. However, it appears that he has fled, and now Danny and Nicholas need to find him.
Attack! Can you handle this, Sergeant Fisher? We're going to go after the big boss. We're on it, Sergeant! Danny, let's rock.
Angel! Don't go being a twat now.
I wouldn't give you the satisfaction. We should get down there.
How? Skip.
Head him off?
Fuck yeah! I'll drive! Shotgun! Punch that shit!
Now let's move on to a thorough analysis of this scene.
Attack! Can you handle this, Sergeant Fisher? We're going to go after the big boss. We're on it, Sergeant!
Straight away in the opening sequence, we can see that they are cutting from one shot to another whilst the characters are being attacked. This is called cutting on action, and they are using this technique and the sudden restart of the music in order to build up the tension and excitement of what is really a silly scene. They have also used shaky camera shots in order to demonstrate the chaos that has now ensued in the shopping centre.
Danny, let's rock.
Angel! Don't go being a twat now.
I wouldn't give you the satisfaction.
We now see that they have started to use straight cuts, which are just simple edits cutting from one scene to the next that can be used to move the plot along in a film or TV series. This is what they've done here in order to demonstrate that Nicholas and Danny are now leaving the police behind to deal with this mess and are now on the hunt for Simon Skinner. Now what we just saw was a brilliant transition technique called the invisible cut. These transitions are used to give the impression of a single take, however cuts are hidden in the editing style. They accomplish this by moving the camera sideways at high speed, which is called a whip pan camera effect, and by cutting on the sound of the gunshot, they could synchronize it with the breaking down of the door.
We should get down there.
How? Skip.
We now see an example of the jump cut, when Nicholas says the word skip to Danny, and then we see him falling into a skip full of rubbish, jumping from the shot of him talking to Danny and to the shot of him falling into the skip. This is a jump cut because we skip over the scene of him falling, because we no longer need that scene, because the audience understands that that is what he's done by seeing him fall into the skip.
Head him off? Fuck yeah!
For the second time in this scene, we see another invisible cut using a whip pan. But this time, instead of carrying on, we are following the police car, moving in the same direction as the whip pan did. This allows the audience to follow along easily and keep up with the pace of the film. The next few shots are straight cuts and cutting on action edits, but what's really important right now is the sound effects. The sound of the car engine, the screeching of the brakes, and the metallic crash of the car door coming off its hinges, all of this is overdone. This is because the director and editor are trying to force the audience into thinking of this as a serious, exciting, exhilarating car chase, even to the point where the gunshots are overdone.
I'll drive! Shotgun! Punch that shit!
After this, we get a series of straight cuts which focus on starting the car. The editor has zoomed in on certain parts of the car at certain moments in the shots. This all adds to the intensity and excitement of the scene. This shot acts as a short break from the action and allows the audience to process what they have just seen so far and prepare themselves for what will most likely be an exciting chase scene. After yet another invisible cut, we are treated to a series of cutaway shots between the two police cars. This helps to fully immerse the audience in the car chase scene. They also attached cameras to the right-hand side of the cars and at a low angle so that the audience can immerse themselves in the chase scene. We now have a series of cutaways as the chase scene continues. The shots are shaky and jumpy, which helps the audience connect with the scene. We now cut to a series of cut-and-action shots, which are focused on the guns. This portrays to the audience the immediate danger that Danny and Nicholas are now in. There are also some mid-shots of the two cars as they exchange fire. This helps the audience feel as though they are fully observing the gunfight and not missing a single detail. The use of the police cars to initiate a whip pan in order to cut to the next scene is unique and allows for a variety of different shots and camera angles. Here we have a match cut, which is the cut from one shot to another shot, which is similar but not the same. We see this when Angel reloads his gun and Skinner does the same action in the other car.
Swan!
We now see another example of the match cut when the camera zooms in on the driver's face, Frank Butterman. It then cuts to an extreme close-up of the Swan and then zooms out again. This is a good example of the match cut and helps to portray surprise and shock on the driver's face. We now get some angle shots from inside the car, which lets us and the audience see their reactions, then quickly switching to a point of view shot so we can see the obstacle that they will soon crash into. The music then cuts immediately as the car hits the sign so that they can set up the next few shots of the scene. The next few shots is a series of straight cuts with low-angle mid-shots. There is no need for complicated and clever editing techniques because the audience can just as well appreciate what is happening in the scene without them. The music has been replaced with the roar of the engine and the whooshing sound, which is meant to be the car soaring through the air. Again, this adds to the emphasis that this is meant to be a dramatic chase scene. Finally, we get more straight cuts as the scene comes to an end and the car chase draws to its conclusion. We also get one last invisible cut with a whip pan as Nicholas rescues the swan. As I've said before, this serves to speed up time for the audience and move the plot along. The music also changes just at the moment the car screeches to a stop, signalling to the audience that the car chase has ended. And that's the end of this editing analysis. I hope you found it informative and now have a better understanding of the importance of editing in films.